Welcome back to News Hub this morning. The Federal High Court sitting in Lokoja, Kogi State, recently set aside a judgment directing INEC to register the Nigerian Democratic Congress. This move essentially throws the party's plans into uncertainty, if you like, into a precarious state. And of course, the party has responded by saying that they were going to pursue the case in the appellate court. We're going to find out exactly where this leads and what becomes of the party. Of course, we know with information shared to the public over the last 24 thereabout hours that some of the candidates, or the candidates as it were, have been uploaded to the portal of the INEC. And of course, to talk more about these and then some, to unpack it essentially with nuance and more details, we've got a legal practitioner in the studio with us in the person of Mr. Abubakar Yusufu. He's a lawyer and a politician. Mr. Yusufu, thank you for joining us in the studio this morning.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here again.
Yes, let's start with getting your thoughts or your views on what exactly is at play at the moment, that court judgment. And then you have matters like logos and whatnot. A lot of commentators have given their thoughts on it. The party itself has given its thoughts on it. What are yours?
Well, let me start by saying that I was the spokesperson for NNPP campaign committee in 2023. So I'm now a statesman or a chieftain that happened to the NDC. So I'm well acquainted. So I'm in familiar terrain, so to say. Well, you will discover that if you have been very conversant with with the public opinion, whatever, you'll discover that it is obvious that court, that Federal High Court in Abuja, exceeded the bounds of legal requirements. Because once a judge gives a judgment, concludes his assignment with a judgment, it becomes what we call a functus official. That case becomes a res judicata. It can only be opened on appeal. But that same judge, yes,
on higher court.
Thank you. So he sat on his own appeal over his own judgment and decided to unstable, so to say, to throw a dart at the NDC. We expected all these type of shenanigans, and we have since appealed. Thank God, like you rightly mentioned in your intro, that we've been able to upload both the presidential candidate and the VP from the INEC portal. And like you know, it is always very difficult and unusual for a court to sit on its own appeal. Very rare instances. And those instances, you may perhaps want to listen to it or hear same. When the judge has committed a false part, or Freudian slip, or a mistake, the judge can, visit his judgment. Or when there has been a fraud in his own judgment, it can also, very rare. So when the same judge decided to sit on his own judgment, it became a very laughable, explanation even in the social and mainstream media. And this court, we have already appealed, and no doubt the judgment of the court, the second judgment of the court, will suffer a violent hammer of dismissal.
Okay. All right, Chief, let me ask this. You lawyers say that the law is what the judge makes of it in his courtroom.
Yeah.
Is that established fact?
No doubt about it.
It is an established fact.
Yes, that is the law as it stands.
Okay, that's the law as it stands.
Yes, until it is
also, this trial judge is saying that, that some facts were not declared. That is why it's going back, which is one of the things you've said, that the only way a court can go back to a case that a judgment that has been declared for, is it functus official that you said, yes, would have been if there are new discoveries. So were you guys not anticipating this new discovery?
Well, the right person, the right institution to appeal would have been the party. The party they are even talking about is non-existent because it's not the party is not even registered. So the judge cannot so much on his own sit on his appeal based on his own understanding. From what you have just said, it appears that the judge saw this kind of angle and decided to lash on it. So it's also an indication. It strengthens our position that the judge, had something sinister against the NDC, we're not surprised in this entirety.
Have you established this?
Yes, because
Have you established this?
no, we are before the Court of Appeal, and like I told you before, we have seen all the facts, and I believe you are also abreast with the facts that this case, as it stands, will suffer the humiliating or violent harm of dismissal in the appellate court.
But has this troubled the waters for your party?
You see, we are not really disturbed because we know that the ruling party is scared. The ruling party is obviously rattled by the combination of Peter Obi and Musa Rabi Kwankwaso.
Yeah.
Obi, without a structure, so to say, was able to get about 7 million votes.
Yeah.
So now that he has a structure, and don't forget
What
to that.
structure does he have right now?
Of course, the NDC, that's the structure
What
presented.
structure does the
the
NDC
FP was
what structure does the NDC have right now?
Oh, firstly, you will discover that somebody like the running mate, the ruling party did not anticipate that we'll be able to form a coalition or understanding between Kwankwaso and
And the NDC.
don't forget too that the ruling party approached Kwankwaso. Kwankwaso did not yield because Kwankwaso, like will not be able to worship in the temple of clay-footed gods, like he told the Kwankwasia movement. Don't forget that I'm also a member of the Kwankwasia movement. The wealth exhibited by APC was so sinister, and he was not ready to sell the virtues of the party, for a morsel of bread. So it could not work. And I think the union, they made a mistake by allowing them to unite. So it is this unity that is causing a sleepless night to the ruling party.
You say your party, this didn't rattle your party in any way, but your national leader came out to say that the party is open to any coalition, partnership, working with any other political party, but while saying that, he put a caveat that we are coming in, you must adopt our own. So what that means is that, one, you've been rattled, whether you like it or not, and then you are stretching out hands to make sure that there's a partnership. That is on the one side of my question. The other side, since you are one of the major persons, I miss seeing you with your Kwankwasia cap. Maybe you can confirm this for us in Kano. That there was a plan B with the PRP party. That your party had that your man, the chief Kwankwasia himself, had a plan B, and then he bought some tickets from with a PRP. Is it? Can you confirm this, or can you debunk it?
The most prominent person in PRP has come out, to say that.
How politicians can say anything.
No, the
politician can say anything.
But it's
I
not
know
true.
him. Yeah, but he said it. Politicians
it's
can
not
say
true. They also
anything.
came and debunked that fact that Rabbi Musa Kwankwaso is not engaged. A big chieftain, the head of the Kwankwasia movement, would not even degenerate to buying tickets for people. So it was obvious that it was meant to give a dog. Smear. The union between the NNP and NDC. So nothing like that. Okay. So we have been expecting this type of thing. When the ADC also passed through the same style of destabilization. So we knew that we were going to be the next. But don't forget that our national leader, I'm sure you're referring to him, Sirake Dixon.
Yes,
he's a strong fellow, and we thank him in no small measure for planting that small seed, that small mustard seed, or that's the NDC that has grown into a very big baobab tree in which the birds of the air will come and seek refuge and repose. Democracy, is open to all and sundry, provided your ideology conforms illuminously on a gold illumined beam. So anybody that wants to seek refuge in this baobab tree planted by Sirake Dixon is welcome, provided it's not the capitalist vampire.
Right. Mr. Yusufu, let's compare contrast notes. Some weeks back, we saw something similar happening with the ADC, courtesy of Justice Peter Lifu.
Yes.
And what was said by most people in your legal space was that it was a legal rascality, if you like, or judicial rascality. Now, we're seeing the same thing with this particular judgment, which, of course, as you said, is being appealed at present. What happens to that judge after now?
Well, I'm not just a member of the bar, I'm a senior member of the bar. And I don't want to be a party to, exposing the insufficiency of my profession to scrutiny. But be that as it may, I think some of our judges, not all, you see that most of these scandalous judgments, they come from the Federal High Court. But some of our judges, I would say even 80% of our
You
judges.
mean the rascal ones?
Well, I would not want to use that label. Those judges, they still their opinion. But by the time their underbelly is exposed by the Court of Appeal, then you will know that I would not even say they are rascal. That's opinion, but their opinion might be short, of expectation. Like this judgment of Olinfu you mentioned, like this recent judgment from the Federal High Court, the local judge, I'll say it will not stand the test of time. It will be thrown out into the dustbin of forgotten things within the next 1 week. I say this on a
Do you think the NDC is completely out of the woods right now?
Well, we are still very, very serious in our quest to take over the mantle of leadership from a beleaguered party like APC. Until we get that judgment, we are not completely out
How
of the
much confidence do you still have in this same judiciary that has thrown you into these dirty waters right now?
You see, the NDC is not just a party. The NDC is secretly becoming a movement, the voice for the voiceless. So what the judge has just done is to take a stand against the people. And that is part of the reason why APC is scared. Well, like I told you before, we expected it. ADC suffered the same fate. We also expected it. So, when the Professor Ladipo will always say that when the evil plotter beats his drum for the downfall of the innocent, the gods will not let that drum sound. This decision definitely will not stand the test of time.
I know this is your jurisdiction. I know you're very careful with your use of words, and you're very careful with what you say about your jurisdiction. Talk to me. Doesn't this expose the concerns of many Nigerians about the judicial system in the country?
Well, like I will always say, the judiciary is also, suffering in quotes, the pangs of, misgovernance by the government of the day. By the time the judiciary is not, is not immune from, influence. By the time you tell the executive to be prominent in the appointment of the judiciary, to also, pay remuneration, and to even give accommodation.
Build houses for judges.
Yeah, so it stands to reason that they will also have influence over that judiciary.
So would you say, Nigerians would love to know, many have even said that it is clear, it is factual, it is clear that there's a weaponization of the judiciary. And that anyone, that anyone who feels that the judiciary has not been weaponized by the executive branch of government is being economical with the truth.
No doubt about it.
Where do you stand?
How much fear does that give you going to the appeal court?
Well, this is like you said, this is no doubt an opinion, and in matters of opinion, there can be no dispute. Gossip you, not a disputarian. But that is not to say that we should throw the
baby with the bathwater.
So we should continue to encourage the judiciary. That's the best we have in the circumstance. And we also ask for reforms of the judiciary. We also ask for, funding of the judiciary from the first line charge. It should be totally insulated from the executive as it is not done. When all those things are done, we'll be able to say verite and victorious. But don't forget that, we expected all this, like the Julius Caesar, we saw all those conspirators, the executive, judiciary, and even substantial part of the assembly. The Brutus, you remember the role played by Brutus? Yes. You remember the Casca? And you remember the revolution by Artemidoros, and even the justice that was made manifest by Antonio. So let the Brutuses, the Cassiuses, and the Cascas, let them do their worst. The Artemidoros will expose their plans. And I assure you that the Mercantonists will ensure that
the problem with that is that the fabric of the nation suffers whilst these tragics are going on.
Yes, that's why we need to hold the government of the day, APC, to ransom. That's why people like you should not play the role of being neutral. We should come out in the open and enlighten the people that this is part of the existential threat that we are talking about. There's no longer the need for us to be neutral in this circumstance. What we are facing is the issue of existential threat. If we don't take out APC and their
so we don't call for the judges to reject those houses?
No, you see.
Why shouldn't they?
Let me tell you. I've told you what we have said. We are as a lawyer, I'm a processed person. if I say return those houses, I do not have an alternate properties for them, but we should be able to.
They are not living in the trenches. They are living in mansions already.
Let us look at the basis. We should be able to re-establish our constitutional provision that makes the judiciary so vulnerable, to judicial manipulations. I will not be able to say that until there is a proper rejigging of the system that even enabled that in the first place. I say that. And, nothing more pretentious.
All right. Now, I'm concerned at this point what happens, or what sort of intervention, if you like, that the NJC would have in cases like these where you have judges, stepping out of line, or if you like, being erroneous in some of their judgments. The NJC has a role to play for all intents and purposes.
The NJC has been very diplomatic and the NGC has not been too reactive.
Yes.
They've been too quiet and they have not been doing their duty. I must say this reluctantly. And this is dangerous. By the time you now open your...
Which also speaks to what my colleague talked about, with the judiciary being weaponized. If the agency, which is supposed to be the organ of judiciary that should caution its members, is being perceived to be diplomatic or not too vocal or not too firm or passive.
So they are hibernating. That's the word.
Yes, we are saying the same thing. I'm always saying that until the NJC or the institution or the law giving birth to NJC is rejigged to make it more proactive, to make him more, responsible to his responsibilities. We are going to be blowing muted trumpets.
Maybe more independent?
More independent, for want of a better word. I will not even say diplomatic. More independent, that's the word I was using for.
Maybe we should even start from, you should call that the president, the power to appoint, to nominate judges should be taken off the list of who the executive branch of government gets to appoint. Maybe make that call. Can you make that call this morning?
Yes, sure. You see, by the time, even appointing, apart from the judiciary, even look at INEC.
Yes. Let's stay with the judiciary.
Okay.
Let's stay with your...
What you have just said is the way to go.
So would you say that, would you call on your honor call that that the president should not be the one to nominate judicial officials?
You see, it's not as easy as you say. Even when the president nominates,
what's hard about it?
Even when the president nominates, you still have to go to the National Assembly.
Yes.
So with the president even taking the responsibility of the president, the National Assembly.
It's a bigger concern.
Yes, it's a big elephant in the room.
Is that the National Assembly is controlled by the party that nominated the president on their platform, controls
even if you take that responsibility for the president, and you see a spineless National Assembly that can pass a law within 24 hours, we still be blowing.
Welcome to Nigeria.
You understand what I'm saying? So we should be very proactive. We should be very concerned about the people you are going to elect this time around. So 2027 is not going to be a tease party. We are calling on all to participate. Everybody. So the idea of saying that maybe you are neutral, you are a journalist or not, should not come. We should be able to enlighten the people about what is necessary for evil to triumph. So people like you and me to do nothing.
I don't know why you are trying to force us to come to your party or to get involved. No, to get involved. You are trying to let's speak to the politics. Let's speak to the politics who are done with you as a legal practitioner. Let's talk to you as a politician. The ticket, the joint ticket of Peter Obi and Kwankwaso, where do you see that ticket going? Where do you see it going?
That is what is unsettling the ruling party.
What are your alternative proposals? Because we seem not to hear. If you want to unseat something that is half good, you need to come with something that is foolproof to be good. So what are you proposing?
No. The truth is that you cannot stop an idea whose time has come. They know that anything you are going to do against NDC represent, apart from the people. If you look at the youths, 90% of the youths, those people that participated in NSAS, they are all in NDC. Some are very quiet.
Where did you come down? Where did you get this data from? Where did you get the data from?
It's a perception you have.
Yes. That's
because what you see on the socials. Where did you get the data? Was there a survey conducted to this effect?
No, Victor, we have had the opportunity of speaking with some obedience over time, where they've also said that they are not politicians, that they are followers of Obi.
Yes. But half of the obedience movement, they have gone the ways of APC, and they are not.
Where did you get the statistics? Where did you get the statistics?
It's a house divide.
Where did you get the statistics?
We've seen press briefing by former actors of obedience denying the person of Peter.
Where did you get
that Peter Obi, that there was that movement before Peter Obi?
Where did you get that statistics that half of the movement they have moved to the other side?
Where did you get that? We're seeing press briefing. We're seeing press
That's
briefing.
exactly what we are saying.
We're seeing press briefing.
Mr. Yusufu, I'm.
But let me be very frank with you.
Yeah.
You discover that if you take Peter Obi, you put it side by side with other aspirants.
Yeah.
You know, his ideology is simple. I want to move the country from consumption to production. And the man in office right now in Anambra State, Soludo, is so anti-Obi. If there's any skeleton of Obi's cupboard, Soludo would have showed it to all and sundry. I'm not saying Obi is an angel.
Because the president allowed the election to go down the way of Abga in this is so it's a payback time.
Okay, so you are consenting to what he said.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Kwakwa saw too, like you know, Kwakwa is the most prominent leader.
Yes, Mr. Yusufu. I like the fact that you spoke about ideology, which is what I wanted to ask you at initial. You have the Kwankwasia movement that has their own philosophy. You have the Obedient movement that have their own philosophy. If you like, you have the person of Peter Obi, who has his own philosophy. And then, of course, you have the bulk of the Obedience, who in most cases, for all intents and purposes, have said that they are following the person, not necessarily the party. Now, I'm wondering how you
marry.
Exactly, you want to marry these two because with one there's, if you like, an organic following, talking about the obedience. With the other, you also have, if you like, a cult following. That's Mr. Senator Musa Rabiu Kwankwaso, and this has been for a long time. You've cornered Kano State, as he were, and other portions of the north. So it is a on paper, and quite realistically speaking, it is a very strong alliance. So how do you intend to marry both?
To be strong.
Perceived to be a strong alliance. How are you marrying both?
Let me tell you this. You see, people make a lot of mistakes. When they want to describe Dr. Musa Rabiu Kwankwaso, they will say it's confined to Kano alone. But this is not true. Don't forget that Jigawa used to be part and parcel of Kano. Don't forget that during any election cycle, we don't have enough money in Kwankwasia movement. So he comes back home to protect his flank. But now that we have united with, with the Labour Party, we're able to have, people to cover all our grounds.
With NDC, you mean?
Yeah, with NDC coming into a coalition, we're able to. That's why in Kano alone, Kano is not the only state Dr. Musa Rabiu controls. You see, the uniting force between Kwankwaso and Obi is this question of pursuing education as the bedrock. Kwankwaso has more than 3,000 students studying, that is giving scholarship to. Obi, when he was the governor of Anambra State, the education there was in tatters, but took that education to the first.
So you think education is a common front?
Key.
It's a common front for
and that
both,
is why the main reason why Kano State does not have that type of what do you call it?
Out of school children.
Out of school children, and Boko Haram and terrorism. It's immune. If you look at the states surrounding Kano State, Katsina, Kaduna, Niger, they are.
So you're attributing all of this to
the charismatic leadership,
to your man's political prowess. Is that what you're doing? But it's been out of power for so many years. It's been unemployed.
Yes, its influence is still winning. You see that it just when the governor left us, not long ago, you discovered that drugs. Only last week, they discovered the cache of drug in Kano State. When Kwankwaso was in control, or when he had, holds over whosoever is in control, that thing was not manifest. You talked about ideology. Let me quickly tell you.
Yes,
you see, people don't know.
We're costing them right now, so let's end on this note. How do we marry the ideologies of the Kwankwasia and the Obedient movement?
There's this ideological background that is not too known to all and sundry. It is only known to the intellectuals of NDC. We call it the five-fingered philosophy, which draws its own,
inspiration. With the fingers again.
That finger is victorious. The five-finger philosophy is part of our ideology. It cuts across social regeneration, economic determinism, mental emancipation, political, risorgimento, and even spiritual balance. We are going to make this manifest when the campaign proper will start. We have not started campaign. We are still fighting the battle of our life, by ensuring that...
of existence.
Yes, by ensuring...
Will you survive the battle? Will you survive it?
We will survive it because it's the battle for you and me, the battle for the people.
Oh, right.
And like Salus Populi Suprema Lex, the welfare of the people is the supreme law of the land. No battle against the people that will survive. So we stand for the people.
Oh,
I assure you that
thank you.
The APC will fall on the sword.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Abubakar Yusuf. It's always a pleasure having you come join us on
Thank
the
you
show.
so much.
We appreciate the fact that you could make our time to come
Thank
be
you.
with us live in the studio.
Thank
As
you.
always.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And wish you the very best.
Thank
wish
you.
the NDC the very best as well.
Thank you. I'll take the message to the people.
Well, they've all heard it. They are watching all of us right now.
Thank you.
They are watching. But we'll come back to you again in a bit. We'll come back to you later in the future because it's not over yet.
Thank you.
It's not over yet.
God bless you.
Yes, it's not
God
over
bless
yet. Like my guy would say, it's not done. It's not done yet.
that is
it's
true.
not declarized.
That is
Say,
true.
It's not done yet. It's not done yet. Thank you, everybody, for doing this with us. It's been a wonderful time on the show today. It's been a wonderful time doing News Up on Thursday. Fantastic discussion. Thank you, all our viewers. Thank you, all our listeners on the show today. I am David Babudike. Have a great day.
And I am David Chiedu. Many thanks for joining us. Have a good one.
And I'm not Victor. I'm not David. I am Victor Ita. Thank you so much for your time.
Bye, everyone.